I got to admit, I still feel like a kid every time one of these movies come out.
Autobots transform!
Welcome everyone to Was It Good? My name is Bob, and today we're going to be talking about the brand new animated film Transformers 1.
We are more than meets the eye. Oh, no.
Now, when I was a kid, I really enjoyed the Transformers. I had a bunch of the toys. I liked the original movie and the original show. And over the years, my kids have really come to like it. So we all decided to go and check it out, and I'll let you know what I think about the movie. Now, before I get into the review, I'm not going to talk about anything that's not in the trailer. So if you haven't seen the movie, you don't need to worry about any spoilers. Now, if you have seen it, I'd like to know what you thought about it. Why don't you go ahead and share your comments in the comment section below? Let me know what you thought. Did you like this new interpretation of Transformers? Were you a fan of the original show? How does this match up to your expectations? I'd really like to know what you think. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get to it. Transformers 1 is the story of Orion Pax and D16 before they became the sworn enemies known as Optimus Prime and Megatron. The two friends who were once bonded like brothers attempt to change the fate of their fellow Transformers and planet Cybertron. Now, like I said, I was a big fan of Transformers back when I was a kid, and that original movie really delivered a lot of emotion. It made boys cry like we were a bunch of babies, and at the same time, it made us cheer. Now, the question is this new one just a bunch of fluff, or is it going to find a way to have a similar emotional impact on today's younger audience? First off, let me start by saying how much heart is actually behind this story. I wasn't quite sure what to expect. The first two trailers were very different. One made this seem like it was going to be just a bunch of fluff, while the other one made it seem like it would be more serious. And the fact that there is a lot of heart behind it really surprised me. The movie itself focuses on this friendship between Orion Pax and D16, better known as Optimus Prime and Megatron, and the discoveries they make in order to change the fate of their planet, as well as the steps that they take in order to become those sworn enemies that we know they will become. And I found that to be very intriguing, and it's what invested me in the story. In fact, my boys enjoyed that part of the story the most, the fact that they were able to really get drawn in by these characters. Also, I did think that it had that fluff. It was funny. There are some jokes here and there that landed pretty well for me where we actually had more than just a chuckle, where we actually laughed out loud. And some of those jokes were references to previous Transformers films that if you were a Transformers fan, you could actually understand them. Others were just what you would expect in an animated film, and some were even references to other toy brands that I appreciated. So I found this to have a lot of heart and a lot of humor, and I liked the way that it was presented. Next, I think the animation was fantastic. It didn't matter whether you were looking at the planet of Cybertron, whether it be inside the city or at the surface, or if you were looking at the Transformers themselves as they transform, or even the battle sequences, because this is a Transformers movie, so there's going to be a lot of action, and those sequences I thought looked really good. I really got to say that the animators did a great job with this film, and I was just in awe as I watched it. I really liked what I saw. Also, I like the fact that they removed the human element out of this movie. There are no humans in this film. This is not a human movie featuring Transformers. This is a Transformers movie starring Transformers. And because of that, this is going to stand out among the other Transformers films simply because it just features the robots themselves. Now, as good as I think the story and animation were, this does not work if the voice cast does not hit it out of the park. And I'm happy to say I really enjoyed their performances. There was good performances by Lawrence Fishburne, John Hamm, Steve Buscemi played Starscream, and that was actually done very well. Scarlett Johansson once again brings her A game as Alita 1. Keegan Michael Key as B127, also known as Bumblebee. He was really good. Brian Tyree Henry as D16, also known as Megatron, very different from previous iterations of the character, and I really liked what he brought to this role. But the one that mattered the most was Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime, because if this doesn't work, then the rest of it doesn't work for me. Part of the reason is because Peter Cullen was so iconic as Optimus Prime.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
He literally embodied that character, and it's really hard to replicate that, but I don't think that Chris Hemsworth tries to replicate that. He's actually very believable as a younger version of this character, or a version before he became the battle-hardened Optimus Prime that we know, but he's very believable in that role. He does have a presence to him in the way that he delivers his lines, and I think that he did a really good job in this role. So overall, I think the cast did a fantastic job in this movie. Now, there are a couple negative things I can say about the film, and to be honest, I feel like I'm nitpicking here, but the first is that not all of the jokes landed, and obviously not every joke is going to land in every movie, but the ones that didn't, it felt like they were trying to carry on a little bit too long to get a chuckle out of, so there was that. But the biggest issue I had is that several of the more important Transformers had little to no role in this. They were there to just basically name drop and so you could recognize them on screen. And I wanted to see more of them. So, for example, Soundwave and Starscream have very small roles. Several of the Autobots, like Ironhide and Jazz, they're basically just there. And so I wanted to see more of the characters that I remember, and that was the biggest issue that I had with the film. Bottom line, was it good? I was very entertained by this. My kids really enjoyed it, and so did I. I think there are enough things here that people of all ages will enjoy it. There's good humor, story, characters, voice performances, action, animation. All of it, I think, is very well done with this movie. I really enjoyed it. This is never going to match up to the original show or movie, but for what it is, I think it is a very good Transformers film. It's one that stands out from among the others, and it's one of the better films within the franchise. If you're a Transformers fan or you have kids, I say go check it out. Now, if you're still watching this long, I'd like to thank you for joining me. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.